Hello again, loved ones. This is Matt Stevens, and I hope you're doing fantastic. And in the past, I've talked a lot about meditation, and I even came on here and was like, I want to do, but it's a meditation that I do, and I want to come on here. I want to do like a guided meditation, right? And it's the void meditation, but then again, that's a little misleading, right? Because it's not void at all. What we consider to be the void, the out there, right? That is not really void. It appears to be void. I mean, physically, when we look at it, it's like, yeah, it's definitely void, but it's not. And I know that from personal experience, and I don't really get into what really started me on this path too much, but I'm an addict in recovery, right? And I did have a very bad overdose once, and it was to the point where like the paramedics that were working on me had given up. They were like, well, you can't save them all. This one's just gone, right? But then my body jerked, kicked. I can't remember. They told me I did something, and they were like, whoa, shit, it hit him again. So they did it, and I came to. Thankfully, they were watching, right? I mean, they could have just been talking amongst themselves at that point, riding in the ambulance. But they saw me do this, and so therefore they did that, and here I am. But when I woke from that, I realized I don't remember anything from the previous 24 hours. It was in a relapse, and I didn't even remember relapsing. It came back to me eventually, like within the, I don't know, week, maybe two, whatever, following that incident. And but what really hit me was I was conscious. I was awake spiritually. I was aware, I guess, in that state. Now, was I in my body, out of my body? I can't tell you. I believe I was out, okay? But there's no way for me to prove it either way. But I do know what I experienced. That's what I do know. Take it for what you want. But I experienced what we would refer to as the void. I was in the black. I had no form. I didn't have a body. I didn't have hands. Because, like, I could describe it as, well, it was so dark you couldn't see your hand in front of your face. But then again, you didn't have a hand. And it wasn't really dark. It was just black. It was just black. And I did not have form. I was just there. And the feeling of it is I just was. It was the state of I am. It's like, well, what are you? Where are you? Who are you? When are you? All that. And it was like, I am. That's all. I am. There's no sense of time. In fact, it's like, I can't even say there was no sense of time because it's like, time's not even a concept there. So that statement of there's no sense of time, that doesn't even fit because there was not even, that was not even a concept in that state. And I realized after the fact, because I thought, I was in the void, I was in the black, I was where nothing. It's nothing. But I realized later, I'm like, wow, that wasn't nothing. That was what we would call the quantum field. That was what is described by the Gnostics, where I am, where God, where the Creator created, when He created the pleroma, when it created the pleroma, sorry, ladies, but when the pleroma, the heavenly realm, and then you get into the myth of Sophia and how all that what she did, but she projected her consciousness out into the what's referred to as the chaos. And then it started manifestations started happening around her, and it's like, okay, so that wasn't really nothing. That was quantum. That was wave function. It was it was in a state of wave function, meaning it wasn't manifested in anything yet. It was waiting to be manifested, or it was just unmanifested energy. But it was not nothing. So therefore, calling it a void, it's not really accurate. So, but I have, and since then, when I got into meditation, this was years and years ago. Please understand, loved one. I mean, this was, we're talking 8 to 10 years ago. Well, 8 years ago, if you want to count my, anyway, this event happened 10 or 11 years, over 10 years ago now. And since then, I've been on a quest. What was that I experienced? I was raised a Christian, and I still have a lot of very deep rooted beliefs there. But I also have seen where man has manipulated through religiosity, right? I'm not going to go there right now. But I know it's like then I had faith in God, but now I know, right? I have a knowing. I know that we have a creator. It is a universal consciousness. But it's not some old man with a beard sitting up on a cloud. That's humanity's feeble attempt at this godly figure. But anyway, I know that now. There's no doubt. You could not convince me that there's not a creator. And I know that is the universal consciousness. I know that we emanate from it. I know that it radiates. In that field, that quantum field, just like where Sophia projected her consciousness into and then began manifesting and creating there, that is there. And that field is there for us, for all of creation to use, to manifest with. That is the quantum field, the wave function that has not yet been collapsed into a solid matter yet, but once attention is placed on it, like we learned from the double slit experiment, once some focused attention is put on it, it does manifest into a this or a that. What are you going to focus it on, though, right? And I'm not getting into a manifestation video, but I just want you to understand that where I'm coming from. And I do a meditation with myself when I meditate. Not every time, but I do have a void meditation that I do where I basically blast off into the ether, into the void, and I just rest there. Because since I experienced that, it's beautiful. I mean, it's nothing, or it physically appears to be nothing, but it's potentially everything. It's potentia, as they say. It's amazing, but there's really no descriptor for it because it's like, well, it's just black. And I was just in a state of I am. I was part of the flow. That is everything. And I know that our true selves are outside of this physical realm. May not necessarily be out there in that field. No. I believe because there is the physical realm and then there's the astral mental plane, right? Then there's the spiritual realm, and then you get into angelic and heavenly and all of that. But I know that our true higher selves is then jacked into this through the pineal gland, your third eye. It's like your antenna too out there. And I just want to encourage you to meditate on that. Project your consciousness out into that field and just rest in it. Don't try to do anything. Just go out into that vast expanse and just breathe in it. That's all. So, anyway, dear loved ones, I am not necessarily getting on here to solicit likes and all that good stuff. But, I mean, while I've got you here, why not, right? Please hit the like button. I would appreciate that. And subscribe to the channel. And I do want to do that guided void meditation. I've said it in the past that I'm going to do this. And I haven't done it yet. But I do. It's really nice. And I do believe I've written it down, the steps and all of that. And I think that I should do that. It's just something I want to share with you, with anybody who just happens to be interested. So, anyway, dear loved ones, that's what I got. I love you. I promise you, I truly do. And I'll be back directly.